everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We have a lot to get into, but before we do all that, make sure you subscribe to the Fumble, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Now here is the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Chris?
It's your boy Chris. You can find me everywhere at CK2K.
Hey everybody, it's Jackie Ray. You can find me online at JRay the Fanatic.
Hey guys, it's Britt. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
All right, you guys. So we have kind of a different show today. So we're just going to jump right into the need to know news. So this is the kind of story that makes my blood boil. It's infuriating. We have to talk about Bubba Wallace. So NASCAR revealed last night that a noose was found in Bubba Wallace's garage stall at Talladega. They launched an investigation with the Department of Justice and the FBI. They are looking for the culprit. NASCAR released a statement writing, quote, "Late this afternoon, NASCAR was made aware that a noose was found in the garage stall. We are angry and outraged and cannot state strongly enough how seriously we take this heinous act." What's even more shocking about all of this is that it was likely an inside job. So this area of Talladega is not accessible to fans. Even the drivers weren't allowed to go back there. You had to have specific NASCAR credentials. You had to be an employee of the company working it. So it was definitely somebody who worked there. That's at least what the word on the street is. Luckily, there are cameras that are stationed around there, so hopefully they can easily figure out who did it and punish him or her. So Bubba released a statement saying, "Today's despicable act of racism and hatred leaves me incredibly saddened and serves as a painful reminder of how much further we have to go as a society." He continued writing, "As my mother told me today, they are just trying to scare you. This will not break me. I will not give in, nor will I back down. I will continue to proudly stand for what I believe in." A lot of athletes tweeted their support of Bubba. Chris is going to get into some of that later in the post-up. It's obviously just it's a devastating thing. It's despicable. So Jackie, I want to go to you first for this question. I know that we're all extremely saddened and infuriated by what happened yesterday, but I want to know, what was your reaction to hearing this news about Bubba, and what do you think about the way he responded with such composure?
My first reaction is I wonder if this is the first time this happened. That was my first initial reaction. And is it something that's just now he's okay to talk about it because of where we are in the world? But this is NASCAR we're talking about. None of us should be remotely surprised that this did happen. So I think that his level of composure is just, he's had plenty of practice. He's a driver in NASCAR. So I think his spirit of composure, he's had to have that several times. If he's never had a noose in his garage stall before, he's heard some things. So he knew it was coming. He was prepared for it. And so I'm pretty sure that while it still hurt anyway, I don't think he was surprised by it. He knew it was coming. He knows what he's in.
Yeah. Oh, God, that makes my heart break. Okay, Chris, I want to go to you for this next question. We just saw NASCAR take this grand stand against racism by banning the Confederate flag from their events. So I want to know, do you believe that this really was an inside job? And if it was, would they be willing to out an employee who did something so horrendous? Or do you think that it's going to just be buried to avoid the negative PR?
Yes and no. Yes to that was my first thought. If you were asking me the question yesterday, my first thought was like, because to find out where it happened, how it happened, my first thought was like, that wasn't like a fan. That's somebody that was within the organization that did something like that, or the building, or somebody within within NASCAR that did something like that. But to answer that second question, I don't know. I think we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be trying to investigate and stuff like that. But no, because of the sport and who the sport was predominantly run by and supported by, I don't know if we're gonna have somebody that's really gonna go out and say something, and if they do know who it is gonna really say something. I don't think that's gonna be the case. Hopefully we do find out, but I don't think it's gonna come down to anybody speaking on who it is if they do know.
I wish that person would be outed and just hung out to dry. That's what they deserve. They deserve to be punished, and it would be really, really sad and disheartening to see any of this covered or buried just for the sake of NASCAR's reputation. So, Britt, I want to go to you. We've seen this social justice uprising in the wake of George Floyd's death, and events like this, like Bubba said, just remind us of how much progress we still have to make. So what do you think is the next step for NASCAR to take to work on eradicating racism from within their company? They've already done it with the fans. What can they do with themselves?
I mean, you can't get rid of it completely, but I think obviously the next step would be to publicly announce who the person was, let go of them. Richard Petty, who was a NASCAR driver for years and years, the face of NASCAR for a very long time, came out with a statement too. And like part of the statement he said is, the sick person who perpetuated this act must be found, exposed, and swiftly and immediately expelled from NASCAR. And I think that's, I mean, he went on to say a lot more, but I think that's the next step. That's what we have to, or they have to do in order to make it known that this is not the environment we're going to have in NASCAR moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. I'm trying to take some faith in the fact that the FBI and the Department of Justice are involved, but I guess we'll just have to see. Now let's move on into something that's a little bit lighter. LaVar Ball threw some shade. This time it was at the Portland Trailblazers. He joined the Say Less podcast, and he had some hot takes about the team. He said, quote, "Look at the Portland Trailblazers. You got $300 million tied up in 2 guards. You ain't never going to win nothing when you tie up all the money in 2 players. It ain't going to happen like that." So basically he thinks that they're just never going to win. It's funny because the Trailblazers were in the NBA playoffs the last time we had them. So Rip City Project, the website, had this quote that I just wanted to read word for word because I think they put it really well. LaVar is pretty short-sighted with his comments on Dame and CJ. Being a small market team in Portland, Blazers management have to overpay to keep players in town. A superstar like Lillard would get max contract offers from every team with cap space, so locking him down at the earliest possible date was vital. The website also points out how if any of his kids were offered a $100 million contract, they wouldn't turn it down for the betterment of the team as well. So, Britt, going to you on this one. I know you're a big fan of Dame. So can you see at all where LaVar is coming from, or is he just spewing some hot air as he normally does?
I think almost every team that ends up being successful does have 2 players that they put the majority of their money into. I guess the question here is, are Dame and CJ those guys? Like that article said, yes, anywhere Dame would go, he would get a max contract. CJ, I don't think so much. Maybe that's the guy that needs to maybe lose the money or, you know, get replaced with somebody else at some point because he's productive, but I just don't feel like their duo has worked, you know, like this past season or even last season. Yeah. So like, I would say it's hard because the Western Conference obviously is like a beast and they've still managed to be contenders. So you got to give them some love because of that, because they've kind of had what the Toronto Raptors had before. Like they just recently did their switch up and stuff. That's what the Trailblazers were. So it's like literally just getting rid of one guy, doing one little switch up can mean a total different team for them. And I think that might be CJ, or it might just be getting lucky in like a draft or something, a trade or something where you end up just getting another third guy that comes in and helps out. But it ain't going to be Dame. It ain't going to be Dame. Right. He ain't leaving. He would get anywhere.
Nope. Jackie, I feel like you have something that you want to add to that really quickly. Do you want to say anything else before I move on to my question for Chris?
No, I find it hilarious that he's saying all this stuff on the Say Less podcast. It's in the title, my guy. Like it's literally in the title. But he just wants to talk. I agree 100% with Britt. Like Dame is the guy. I think that's a no-brainer. I think CJ will become the guy. Hopefully, that's my fingers are crossed on. But I mean, yeah, like Britt said, I mean, nobody said anything about the Lakers locking down LeBron and AD. So he's just talking to be talking, which is funny to me. But yeah, no, say less. It's in the title. You made it.
No, we didn't. No, I'm mad. I'm going after them. That should be ours. It took our podcast name. I'm mad.
It did.
I'm mad.
Okay, Chris, going to you really quickly on this last question. Do you agree with LaVar when he says they'll never win a championship with all of their money tied up in Dame and CJ?
I would say never, because like Britt said, there is still a possibility that you never know. They make a trade and get that third guy or something like that happens. You never know. I wouldn't say never, but I don't disagree with what he's saying. Like Britt took everything I'm on. It's very, very similar to the Lowry and DeRozan situation where, they are both very good basketball players and they are, it's just not working. The formula of them together is just not working. There's been an experiment they wanted to do when they drafted CJ McCollum. And at first it was exciting. They win games, but I don't know if they're going to make that next level with the two of them. Maybe, get that third guy or like both Jackie and Bruce said, CJ got to go because it ain't going to be Dame. So I don't initially disagree with LaVar. I just disagree with him going full LaVar saying they ain't never going to win a championship like that. That's that side that I'm not going to go full with that one. But I mean, he's not wrong on the conversation of having both of them.
I feel like I'm now rooting for them to win a championship just so we can be like LaVar, ha ha. Like, ha ha.
Anytime LaVar comes out and he's just like spitting this random stuff, it's hard to not want the opposite of what he said to happen. Just because it's like,
right.
Okay. Well, let's jump into another member of the Ball family, Lonzo. So obviously Lonzo and the Big Baller Brands relationship has been a little bit up in the air since that giant public falling out. He's been really non-committal about whether he's going to work with the brand again, whether he's going to support them and wear the shoes and the gear and all of that, even though he is still a majority owner. LaVar has this whole time insisted that the brand is not dead. And now Lonzo seemingly has confirmed his partnership with Big Baller Brand again. He released a song called TikTok on Friday. And great song name. There are some lyrics that seem to indicate that he's committed to the brand. One verse goes, Big Baller Brand, I'm the man, know we sticking to the plan, pop in the bottles, spend in bands, ZO2 cost $1,000, brought it down for my fans. So the fact that he's even rapping about the brand and talking about lowering the exorbitantly high prices of his shoes, it seems to me like he's saying he is working with the company. And, they just signed with Rock Nation Sports, so maybe part of their deal with them is reviving the brand. We'll see.
Chris got something to say.
Wait, Jackie, are you talking? Because we can't hear you.
Jackie.
No, Jackie, where'd you go?
Oh, God, I don't know. Okay. I'm just saying, I think, can somebody screenshot Chris's face for me? Because he's a whole entire meme. I need that to be a thing.
Let's just hear from you first. Take it away. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Because I know you got something to say.
You just checking on the list. I need to buy some aluminum foil and get my day. I need a conspiracy. I keep talking about we need to do it. I need to have a conspiracy, and this would be the time to put it on. I've said it on this show. I've said it time and time again. I believe that there's going to be a Triple B Puma crossover, and we've seen every time there's a video, LaMelo wearing that damn Puma. Now Lonzo over here talking about he's going to go back with Triple B's. The Rock Nation signing. Who's Rock Nation led by? Jay-Z, the ambassador, the president of Pumas. I'm just saying, I just feel like this is just all lining up perfectly that there's going to be some kind of crazy Puma Triple B crossover that's going on. I feel like this is just furthering that conspiracy. So that's the only reason the only reason why I was making those faces because Devin's just there checking down the list. He's like, sign with Rock Nation. I'm like, oh. The made a rap talking about so I was just like, so I'm sticking with my conspiracy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Chris, I'm curious. So if that is the plan, that actually would probably turn out pretty well for the Ball brothers. But if there is no Big Baller Brand Puma crossover, do you think that Lonzo would have been better off signing with another sportswear company like Nike or Adidas instead of representing Big Baller Brand again?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If this conspiracy falls through and it's completely aligned, he's just with Triple B and they're trying to, bring it back up. I mean, unless they're continuing to sell their shoes for a better price. And if they look better, maybe. But no, I think he definitely would. If my conspiracy is wrong, yes, he would 100% been better off signing with somewhere else. I love the idea of it. I still support it. I think it would be cool. But for Lonzo strictly, yes, he would have definitely been better off going somewhere else if my conspiracy is wrong.
All right. Okay.
Do it.
I like it when Chris gets his conspiracy hat on. I think that's my favorite version of Chris.
Oil hat.
I'm going to go to you really quickly. Do you think that this song does indicate that Lonzo is back on board with Big Brawler Brand, or was it just like a convenient verse to throw into a song?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, the beginning cut out. I was like, I don't know who she asked that question to. But I don't know, because it's not like I feel like it does mean he's back with the brand, because I feel like that's what the Ball family does. They always kind of like hint at stuff. And to Chris's point, I said that a long time ago. I was like, I feel like the Big Baller Brand needs to do what like Nike was with the Jordan brand, like, and that's how you make it like a thing, you know?
Yes.
So I'm jumping on the Chrissy train too with Chris, because I really think it is a Puma Big Baller collab coming. You know, I really believe so. Especially like if it wasn't, I don't think Lonzo would even be back on board. Like, I think he's back on board because there's going to be something else happening. If it was just going to go back to being exactly what it was before, I think he's like washed his hands of like the drama that like was just Big Baller Brand in general. Because he very openly talked about, oh, I was changing shoes every quarter. Those shoes hurt my feet. Yada yada. His manager, Demo, was throwing the shoes in the trash can. Like, it was just so much. Like, so it has to be like revamped so much so that like he could now be like, okay, actually this brand is really good, because we're actually partnering up with this group now, and they're going to help the shoes be even bigger and better. You know, like if it's just like, wait, didn't you just talk crap about the shoes? How are you going to go back and like, that doesn't make sense. You know, I don't think he gets the crowd back. People aren't going to follow again and get the shoes again after he just talks so much shit on them, unless there's something else added to the shoe now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, Jackie, just want your answer. Do you feel like this is confirmation from Lonzo?
I don't know if I care enough to really know either way. I mean, come on, you guys know how I feel about this whole situation. But I will say that I wouldn't be entirely surprised if, I mean, I agree with Britt and Chris that the conspiracy theory is probably most likely what's happening. However, I would not be surprised. I'm not on the train. I'm at the train station. I'm at the train station, but I'm not on the train yet, because I think if it comes back around, I'll get on the second time. But I think that Lonzo, I think that he would be that family-oriented guy, and his dad can just stay in his ear enough that he would say, okay, if you give me more say, if we can build a better product, if I can build this brand the way that I want to build it, then maybe he would jump back on without, you know, it being that Puma conspiracy theory. So, but I think the Puma conspiracy theory makes the most sense. So I'm at the train station. I just ain't on the train yet. I need a little bit more evidence.
Okay. Takes us still on schedule, Jackie.
Okay, guys. So that wraps up Need to Know News. And this is what's going to be different about our show today and moving forward. We are so excited to announce that we're taking donations in support of the Equal Justice Initiative. The Equal Justice Initiative is an incredible nonprofit. We've got some things going on the screen. So here we go. The Equal Justice Initiative. It's an incredible nonprofit organization that provides legal representation to prisoners who may have been wrongly convicted of crimes, poor prisoners without effective representation, and others who may have been denied a fair trial. For the next 6 weeks, we will be amplifying our voices here on the Fumble and sharing with you some of the many stories of wrongly convicted athletes, activists, and others in an effort to shed some light on something that is happening in our country every day. Some of these stories you might already know, others you might be unfamiliar with, but they'll show you exactly how unfair our justice system can be. We'll be telling you about a different person each day, along with various videos sprinkled throughout the week, in which we'll hear even more about the Equal Justice Initiative and all of the amazing work that they do. So get excited for that, you guys. You're going to learn a lot, I think. So today I'm going to start off by telling you about Rubin Hurricane Carter. He was a one-time ranked middleweight fighter, and he was wrongly convicted of first-degree murder. He spent a fair amount of time behind bars for a crime he didn't commit, 20 years, in fact. His story inspired Bob Dylan to write the song about him, the song Hurricane, which I'm sure you all are familiar with, and Denzel Washington played him in a movie. His only crime at the time of the double murder in a bar in New Jersey in 1966 was driving while black. So Carter was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and convicted in basically a rigged case on unreliable eyewitness statements and scandalized police work. The people that blamed him for the murders recanted their testimony, but Carter stayed in prison until 1985 after being convicted twice on the same flimsy evidence. 20 years of his life spent in prison for something that he didn't do. It's absolutely terrible. So this is just one story that we'll be sharing with you throughout the coming weeks. If you do want to be part of the movement, there's a donation link below where you can send donations directly to the fund. Anything helps, and we're glad that we can share this awesome opportunity to donate with you guys. And if you want to learn more about the Equal Justice Initiative, you can visit their website at eji.org. So check that out, you guys. If you have a couple, $5 extra to spare and you want to support, go ahead and click that link right down there below. And now, Chris, let's get into the post-up.
Yes, it's time for the post-up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition. Yes, looking forward to that. Please donate. I'm looking forward to hearing all these stories and, getting those messages out to hopefully get some support from you guys to donate in you can see it right there. So either right there is to the bottom of us, however you have your screen, you can see it on your screen. But coming in the post-up, we got some crazy stuff today. I want to start off with LeBron James, who has responded to what we talked about earlier, the whole Bubba Wallace situation in NASCAR and that crazy story here that we're talking about in the news here in 2020, which is sickening to me, and it's also sickening to LeBron James. He released a tweet saying, sickening. Bubba Wallace, my brother, you don't stand alone. I'm right here with you as well as every other athlete. I just want to continue to say how proud I am of you for continuing to take a stand for change here in America and sports. NASCAR, I salute you as well. I said my piece on that. I really do hope that they do find who it was that did that. Like Britt talked about, you saw the commissioner, the person, the head honcho of all of NASCAR talking about that they're going to get to the bottom of that, and I really hope that they do, and they better, because it's just crazy. Here we are, 2020 is just out of control. And speaking out of control, we have a player in the NFL being he got knocked out, but I don't want to say he got sucker punched. And it happened. Dallas Goedert from the Philadelphia Eagles, tight end. He's on his way, had a nice finish to last season. He's from South Dakota. Went back home to South Dakota. Went to a bar where he was blindsided. He got sucker punch. I don't know if we get that video up. Here's somebody who worked at the bar, recorded it from the look right there, boom. And that's Goddard, just out of nowhere. Dude hit him, and then a huge fight ensued. Turned out that, he was knocked out, as you see, not moving. He was bleeding, went to the hospital. But it's just crazy. I got questions, okay? I just need to know why? Like, for what reason? Obviously, he's back home, so maybe this dude has some beef with him back in high school and took the opportunity to come at him here. It's just crazy to see something like this happen. Obviously, we saw, if you haven't seen the video before, Devin did a video on this whole entire thing. We had other teammates come out and say something in, support of their teammate and, ready to take action on whoever it is, Jackie Ray style, saying like, I got the time, let's go get him. It's just crazy to me, to sucker punch him, and you can see him quickly get out of the frame. It's just like, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Just as bad as a keyboard warrior in a situation like that. Sticking to football and punningly enough, sticking to Dallas. Jamal Adams. We talked about Jamal Adams requesting a trade from the New York Jets sucks. The Jets. He wants to get out. He's done with it. He wants out. He listed the teams that he wants to go to.
What's up,
Oh
bro?
God, he's under my ear already. Yeah, that's the video. We're gonna play the video in just a second. So apparently he was in the streets, and the Cowboys fan caught him driving in his big old G-Wagon, and he asked him straight up, like, "Yo, man, how about these Cowboys?" And well, here's what Jamal Adams had to say about it.
What's up, bro? Hey,
Listen closely.
what's up, bro? Hey, you coming to Dallas? All right.
So, hey, I don't know if you heard it. He said, "Hey, yo, I'm trying, bro." I just love how the fans like, "All right, cool." Like he's just like he's down with it. That's all I needed. So, Britt, I got to talk to you. We got to talk. I need to know how you're feeling about it because you guys didn't. I mean, Jamal Adams is one of the better young stars. Safety. I understand you guys are okay at the safety position right now, anyways. But I mean, to bring him on, that you like bring him on with open arms. How you feeling about this? If it ends up happening that Jamal Adams is brought to your Cowboys.
If it happens, that's a big if.
Right.
I would welcome him with open arms. I really don't believe it's going to happen. We spent a lot of our draft, making sure we were taking care of our secondary and stuff like that. And I'm happy with who we have. If he comes, great. But I really just don't think he's going to come to the Cowboys. I don't think we can even afford him. So I don't think we still are trying to work out Dak's deal and figure that stuff out. So I don't think he's going to come. If he happens to come, I would love to have him on our team. I think he's great.
That's the right mindset, Britt. All right, I respect that. Don't get yourself too hyped up. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, we good with what we got right now. If you want to come through, come on through. Like, I respect that. That's how you got to think. I talked my piece on Weekend Zone. I was hoping that, even though he put all these teams that he wants to go to, I was hoping that, he would. I mean, obviously for the Jets, it would be smart for them to get him out of there. Anytime I see any kind of trade or anybody demand a trade in the NFL, my hopes is that they end up in a team in the same division so he can spank that team 2 times a year. Mm-hmm. So I'm so hoping he goes somewhere within the division. But I mean, yeah, that would, like Britt said, the Cowboys had a good job. They did a good job in the draft, beefing up their secondary. But let me tell you something, Jamal Adams coming to that team would definitely be. That'd be scary. That'd be very scary for that team. So we'll see if it happens. I don't know. But Jamal Adams seems like he's endorsing it. So we'll see what happens. He's not taking to the fumble slogan by saying less because he definitely said it all in that clip. Moving on to LeBron James. Now, somebody please cue the Boys to Men real quick. Because let me tell you, boy, I don't even want to say no more. Can we get this picture up, Leo? And shout out to Zuri for doing all that she can. So this cute. Little girl is trying everything she can. She's like, "Daddy, I got you. Like, don't let them get you like that." I want to know who took this picture. It's probably Bronny or Bryce. One of them. They wrong for putting their daddy out like this.
That picture.
Maybe
Savannah took that picture.
I was trying not to put it on her, but no. But yeah, man, somebody cue Boys to Men because that hair is at the end of the road. Like, look at that. Oh my God. You can't really see it too clearly here, but man, the cul-de-sac is like it's fighting. Like all the middle they fight. LeBron, just go bald. Just do it. Like you act as if you're gonna go bald, and you would look just fine bald, man. You can bring back the headband because you ain't gotta worry about your hairline being messed up no more. Or you can just rock it, go straight. MJ, Kobe, just going out like just go bald, LeBron. Nobody gonna be mad at you. You are putting these memes upon yourself. You're making people care so much about your hairline because of yourself. Just let it go. You're still gonna be LeBron James, but man. Although we know.
And he's singing, y'all. Oh no. We're not gonna do that to Boys to Men today. No, we're not. No, we're not. Y'all ain't gonna do that to that song. Leo, hit the mute button. Hit the mute button. What are you doing, Leo? Hit the mute button.
No. That hair needs to go. LeBron James, man. Moving off of LeBron James. Oh goodness. From one bad haircut, we could go to another bad haircut. This man, that some people claim to be our president, had a rally over the weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Saturday. I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, we're not even playing no video because he said some things. I'm going to summarize it for you because I don't want to put them on my screen during the post up. Not doing it. But he said he was talking about the coronavirus and talking about how numbers had gone up within the last few days. We've talked about it here, like as to be expected. More tests are available, more people are getting tested, so the numbers are going to go up. But according to Trump, we need to stop it because he doesn't like that these numbers. It's making him look bad because our numbers are right. That is the thing that's making him look bad because by us caring about our health and going and getting tested and finding out what's going on with themselves, that is inflating the numbers. It's making us look bad or making him look bad. So he said in his own words that we should slow down on testing. We should hold back on getting tested because he doesn't want the numbers to continue to look as big as they are. It's not about being knowing what's going on with yourself because to hell with that. It's making our numbers look bad. I hate it. So that was Trump. I don't get tested. If you go in there and get in line, get tested. I'm saying get tested. Go find out. But he's upset about it. And Jordan Clarkson's response is exactly how I feel because he saw this tweet, retweeted it, and said, I don't know what smoke they got in the White House, but this is the dumbest ish I heard. And it really is because he sat there and was saying that, of course he's there boosting himself up. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm Trump, I'm the greatest. And then he's like, and people are taking our numbers and it's because everyone's getting tested. And I just want everybody to slow down. So I don't know if he's joking. I'm sorry. I'm not. Humor is not above me. But here, I'm just trying to give it to the you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get in the benefit out. That's not my humor. But let me tell you something. Coming from me, who is pretty good at seeing when there's humor, that sounded like he was dead serious. But I don't understand. That is.
Well, ignorance is bliss. That's what he's trying to say.
Man has that saying never.
And he is blissful. Oh, he is so blissful. He's just happy as a lark. So.
From the rally to the contents within the rally, that is facts on how blissful he truly really is.
Yep.
And speaking of bliss, we are going to, in my opinion, probably one of the more racist fan bases in the NBA. And I know Boston's on the list. Jackie's talked about it several times about Denver, but let me tell you, man, Utah to me is right there as a contender as one of the most racist fan bases in the NBA. And the way that they responded to their star, Donovan Mitchell, that only furthers my argument. Now, Donovan Mitchell simply, I don't have the picture, but he simply put up a picture on Friday for Juneteenth, celebrating Juneteenth, and it said free-ish since, it said free-ish since 1885, and people were pissed. People were mad. People were sad. There were a lot of comments in the supporting saying like, shout out to Donovan Go. But man, there were a lot of upset people, and we're going to go into that right now quickly, shall we? Now, this first guy's name is Brent. Class, say hi to Brent because he is idiot number one. He responded to Donovan Mitchell with a lot of emojis, the same emojis several times, but a lot of emojis. He said, what do you mean free-ish? Facepalm emoji. You literally make millions playing basketball. Facepalm emoji. I just lost all respect for you, Spider. Facepalm emoji. And then somebody who has some sense actually responded to him and said, all right, don't let the door hit you on the way out, clown. And my man Brent was furious. How dare you call me a clown? I'm the emoji king. I'm going to put emojis in my response. So Brent responded to this man saying, is there something a black man can't do because of their skin color? Clown emoji. Take that. I'm the emoji king. That's what I thought. We all have an equal opportunity to succeed, but people like Donovan want to cry over nothing. Clown emoji. That's two of them. So take that for your clown emoji because I put two of them because I'm Brent. Obviously, idiot number one right here, Brent right here is missing the entire point. And obviously, he has no idea what it means to be black in America because he is just equating everything. He's equating this post to just the money that Donovan Mitchell makes. But he's not the only one, ladies and gentlemen, because we have another one. I'm trying so hard not to call her Karen because her name is Lisa, and you know what? She didn't really go full Karen, but she did go full ignorant. She responded to Donovan's post by saying free-ish, question mark. Knock it off. You're not a victim of anything. Coming from a millionaire, this is unacceptable for you to deny that you got where you are by working hard and being a good person. Nobody cares what color you are. I've loved you from the beginning. Heck, I even told my kids that I was going to leave you our farm.
A farm. Lord.
Trust me.
Oh, God.
I need some backstory on that. Anyways, I'm so mad at you for playing victim. Set an example of a strong man and a successful American. That's all I could take from that comment section, because the ignorance continue. Like, the more you scroll down, the more it just got more and more ignorant, and I just couldn't handle it. I'm gonna go to you first, Britt. Yeah, so you saw the comments there by Idiot 1 and Idiot 2, aka Brent and Lisa. I don't know. I honestly don't have a question for you, because what is there to ask? There's nothing else to be asked. You're seeing it's just ignorant. Like, they're missing the complete point of everything going on right now, and it's just the fact that we're this heavy in the protest, and they're still going very strong. Shout out to everybody out there still doing it. Whether the movement is going strong, and if you're still at this point, and you cannot see what Donovan Mitchell is trying to get at with the post, and you're trying to equate it to money still, is ridiculous. But please, Britt, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Utah. There's a lot of polygamy that happens in Utah. A lot of cousins had, sisters and brothers that are also their cousins and also their uncles and stuff. So once you get all that mix up in there, their brains, they lose a couple things up there. They get a little slow because their dad is also their uncle. So when you get in those kind of situations, I am not surprised. Like, I don't even want to say anything about them, because I feel bad for them, like they're so messed up in the head and they have some issues going on. So I don't even want to say anything, because I can't, you have mental issues, guys. So it would be wrong for me to even comment on this at this point. It's sad. It's very, very sad.
Yeah. And I do want to apologize for, on behalf of Post Up, for giving them more time than they truly deserve. So for that, we are going to move off of them, and we're going to move on to time is up, and we ain't gonna talk about you no more. But we're gonna move on to something that I found pretty hilarious over the weekend. But this dude, some guy on Twitter just went crazy, and I don't know what all of a sudden he just probably, I don't know if he was on Snapchat on accident and was over like one of his like favorite football players. He said, "You know what? I'm about to turn all of the quarterbacks in the league into ladies," and they actually came out really good. They're actually pretty funny.
That actually looks like Tom Brady.
Excuse me, Mrs. Brady. It does. They all look like themselves, and some of these girls are scarier than others. I look, Devin, I'm just gonna say this. I might be a Jimmy Garoppolo fan after you see how Jimmy Garoppolo looked as a lady. So you and me might be in some competition, okay, for Jimmy G. But look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady looking like Jackie said. Tom Brady still looking like Tom Brady, just with a wig on. Yeah. Can we get the next one, Leo? This one. Oh, Matt Ryan. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. This one didn't work. This was not a good one. This one was not a good one. So we can move off this one.
Can I speak to your manager? That's what he looks like.
Yep. Aaron Ryan. Yep. Can we go to the next one? It's Teddy. Look, tell me why Teddy look like my aunt. Like, why Teddy? This one is too good.
So
like this one is like, she's like, the bakes is ready. Like that's why I'm waiting for her to tell me like that Teddy. Yeah, that was a good one. That one's 10 out of 10. I like Teddy. On to the next one. I don't know how to feel about. And it's funny because the name can still stick. Because
there's a lot.
Could also work as a lady's name. So.
Right, but if you know all the like rumors circling around Aaron Rodgers, this is hilarious.
Oh no! You know what? Oh my! I didn't even think. Next one. Nope. Not Aaron Rodgers. Look at Kirk. No comment. Not next one. Jimmy? Yeah, Kirk. He's coming. Don't worry, Jimmy's coming.
Hell no!
That's the quarterback, Britt.
Dak Prescott, I am offended. I am appalled. How dare you? That is not Dak. Are you joking right now?
Oh no! Oh no!
Did you know Dak Prescott is black and white? First of all, this person is not like what? This is not Dak Prescott.
It's funny though. It is funny.
An Eagles fan made this. An Eagles fan did this.
No, it's the same dude that made all. Yeah, we need to find out who he is a fan. That's true. We need to get in the bottom of that. But what's the next one? There it is. Look at. Hey, hold on a second. Like, wait a minute. That's what I'm saying. I don't like it. I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all. Like, Devin, talking. How you feeling about Jimmy as a girl?
Like, hey,
I don't like this one. I don't like. Yeah, we need to get this off the screen. Like, this is weird. This is weird. Right. So
Jimmy,
no, this is weird.
Jimmy looks beautiful. I love it. She looks like a beautiful boy. I realize now that I'm in competition with not just you, Chris, but also Britt. Everyone wants to fight me for Jimmy. He is my man, you guys.
Let's get in the ring, bro. Let's get in the ring.
She's like, let's do it. Yes. But no, my favorite one definitely comes. We got sponsored that. I want to see that. We got to see that. But this next one comes from Kyle Long. Now, this same dude just did the whole Long family, but Kyle Long loves his girl version of himself. I don't know if we can get that one up. And he put a tweet on top of it. He said, "Is it coming up? Do we have it?" Oh, no, yeah, look at Colette. He said, "No cap, I'm pretty as hell." Look at him.
I love it.
I thought that was hilarious. But the thing is, you can't really see it because the camera's covering it, but it's literally just the head on Kyle Long's big old body, so it's just so funny.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Kyle face would be a little thicker than that.
Yeah,
I want to see the Drew Brees one.
Helped her out. Yeah, see, I left that off because I want to throw a little bit more attention to the real quarterback I remember from last season, Teddy Bridgewater. But yeah,
yeah.
You have to Twitter search that Drew Brees one. It's there. You can find that one. On that note, no love. Not here. I'm not there yet.
You deserve it.
Huh?
He deserves every piece of his shade.
Nope, I skipped them on purpose. On to this next one. Now, this one's getting a lot of controversy. Okay, this one is getting a lot of controversy. I want to know what you guys think about this, but first I want to preface it. Now, over the weekend, we had UFC Vegas 3 go on, and one of the fights came from Max. Oh my goodness, this name, I got it. Max Roscoff versus Austin Hubbard. And as the fight went on, it got to the point where Max couldn't take it anymore, and he called the fight. Well, for what we saw, it looked like the coaches called the fight, but then video came out of him and his coach going back and forth, and Max, in fact, was the one that wanted to call the fight, and the coach was trying everything in his power, and he was talking him against it. He was cussing him out, telling him, like, no, we're not calling this fight, but Max just could not go on any further. So I want you guys to watch this video of them going back and forth leading up to the decision, and then I have a question for you guys. So can we get the video up?
Okay, catch your breath.
No.
We're going to beat this guy.
Call
Keep it on her feet. You're going to clinch.
No, call it. Call.
You sure you want to lose, Max?
Yeah.
We got
I
this,
don't want to do this anymore.
No, we got this, Max.
No,
You're a champion.
I don't have it.
You're a champion. Stop it.
I don't have it.
Stop it. You're a champion. You're a champion. We're going to clinch. Finish this round on top of it under the decision, okay? Get on top of him. Out wrestle him. We got this.
Let's go. One good one right here. You trying to get up, Max? You want to fight or not?
He wants to call it.
He wants to call it.
And there it is. And then that led into what we saw where the fight was called. So now there's two camps. There's two camps going on. There's the wimpy camp, and then there's the layoff camp. Okay, now there's the wimpy camp saying that Max should not fight ever again. Take him off the card. He's too soft for MMA. More times than not, these fighters go in there and they fight until they can't fight no more. So they're going after Max. Then there's the other camp saying Max has every right to call when he feels like he is ready to call it, and the coach is wrong for trying to get him to talk him out of a decision that has nothing to do with his body, it has to do with Max's body. So there's both arguments. So I actually, before we move on to Jackie, I want to hear everyone's opinion on this quickly, starting with you, Devin. Seeing this, so knowing the story, knowing the background, which side do you want? Do you think Max had the right to call that fight off and the coach didn't have the right to stop him, or is the coach right and are those people right that Max should have fought through it and that he needs to be cut from UFC? How you feeling about this one, Devin? Talk to me.
I think that Max should definitely be able to have the option to call the fight when he doesn't feel like he can do it anymore. He's the one who's putting his body on the line. He's the one who's putting his health on the line. I think that, I mean, of course, you want a coach to encourage you and to push you when you're down, and that's what they're kind of meant to do. But I think this was a little, I don't know, it was a little intense for me. But you guys know I'm a softie as a person in general, but I just felt like this was too intense, and I don't think that it was the right move at all.
So coach shouldn't say, okay. Jackie, coming to you next. Which side are you laying on? And you don't give me I'm on the fence. No. I need you to pick a side. Go ahead.
I'm not on the fence. I'm not on the fence. I watch UFC almost every single weekend. So I absolutely think he has a right to call it. But as a coach, I probably am not going to coach him again because I'm not coaching poker. You know what I mean? You knew what you were getting into. And so for me, I mean, we've seen fighters who are way more beaten and bruised than this guy was and go out there and still give it their all, and some even come back to win. So I think that if it's his body, he absolutely can call the fight himself. However, you need to find a new coach because I'm not coaching you anymore if you give up. And especially if I'm your coach, you are talking in complete sentences. This ain't over yet. What are you talking about? So no, I'm not coaching him anymore. Sorry.
That's true too. And Britt, last but not least, so we got 1-1. Which side are you laying on? Break the tie. How you feeling?
So he has the right to call the fight. I also think he should quit fighting and never fight again. But he does have the right to call it. And like Jackie said, he was speaking, coherently. He didn't seem like he was whatever. Just seemed like, I just don't want to do it anymore. Versus like, I can't even see, I can't talk right or whatever. Cause obviously I remember doing the story last year of the boxer that was killed, he died, and so you never want to get to that situation or whatever. But I don't feel like he was in that moment. I just think he is a little soft and probably shouldn't fight anymore, but he called it, and you called it for the last time because you should not be allowed in the UFC anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not for everybody.
Yeah. And I think that's where I lay on it too. It's just he has every right to call the fight, but I feel like he called that fight way too premature.
Right.
I just feel like this is a situation where, like Bridget said, it's just he's not cut out for that if he's not ready to go to the end. And because you never know. You could have gone out there and you could have turned around. You don't know if your dude is just as tired as you were. You don't know that situation, but you called it as early as you did. Right. I think I'm on a combination of everybody. That coach ain't coming back. He should not come back and coach this dude. And I don't know if he should just stick to fighting, amateur fights and not come and try and be in the UFC. It's just not work. He's not cut out for that. So, I think I'm in agreement with you guys on that one. But that's it for me on Post Up. I'll let you take it over.
All right, let's get my tune, whichever tune I decide to go with today on the spot.
Here we go.
Oh God, I'm scared. I'm ready though.
What we're not gonna do.
Okay. Stayed on key this time. That's how we start this Monday. I like it. All right, guys. I think one of the things I want to do is I want to start what we not gonna do weekly winner because I think my first nominee is going to go to the UCLA football team because they just not having it at all, and I am here for every piece of it. So if you don't know, last week UCLA announced that the entire football team and other athletes involved in fall sports who live locally can come back to campus, and they can come back to campus actually today. So it's voluntary, and the athletes will have to undergo testing for COVID-19, obviously, and it depends on how they're going to test you based on what sport you play. But the football team is like, nah, we ain't here for it. Because they said what we not going to do is pretend like COVID ain't a thing anymore. And we just going to get back out here willy-nilly and just be playing and under these circumstances that we're not quite comfortable in. So the team wants a third-party health official to be present for all football activities to ensure COVID-19 prevention protocols are being followed. It's 30 players that they met online Thursday, and they said that they don't trust Chip Kelly or his program, and they don't trust that he is acting in the interest of players. I do not disagree with them. They said, quote, UCLA has perpetually failed us and neglected and mismanaged injuries. Now, Chip Kelly, he's a losing coach. He has a losing season with the Bruins, so I'm not surprised at that. They also have a lawsuit pending. So in May, 3 players filed a lawsuit against UCLA, and they want over $15 million in damages because they said UCLA mismanaged their injuries. So it gets deeper, though, because the team also wants an anonymous whistleblower protections for athletes who report violations, athletes and staff who report violations, because they feel like without that, that it'll just get covered up. So the players drafted a letter that said, quote, "These demands reflect our call for an environment in which we do not feel pressure to return to competition. And if we choose not to return, that our decision will be respected. If our demands are not met, we will refrain from booster events and recruiting events and all football related promotional activities." So they're supposed to open this season against New Mexico State on August 29th, but I think they should go ahead and cut their losses with Chip Kelly. First of all, I'm not a fan, and I know that the lawsuit wasn't his fault, but like I said, he's not a winning coach. There was an incident, I think it was at the beginning of the month or the end of last month where it was the beginning of this month where he tweeted about, "Oh, I'm so sad about the state of our country," and he tweeted a quote from Martin Luther King, but he didn't even mention George Floyd. And then black players came out and were like, "Nah, that's not right. You mistreated black people the entire time we were there." He didn't address that, so he refused to comment on that. And then since he's been with UCLA, more than 70 players have just left, even with their being eligible. So I think it's a lot to say about Chip Kelly and this organization. But Chris, if it's up to you, what do you do with Chip Kelly right now? Because I think it's a bad look, especially for the organization when you think about recruitment and kids coming into UCLA. What are you doing with Chip Kelly?
I think the same thing I do with every job that this man continues to get. I say the same thing, whether it is Philly, whether it is them, whether he is working and say, I don't care where he is. He's got to go. He is not the move. Obviously, I forget being anonymous. I'm putting my whole government out there if I'm talking about how I feel about Chip Kelly. I'd be like, it was me, Chris Clark, man with the back injury from last week. You know, your wide receiver. I don't try. I'm saying my whole government. Like, there's no whistle, nothing. I'm saying how I feel about it, and I feel like they should. He's got to go. He's got to go, and it's unfortunate. And I feel like it's just with UCLA, everything, basketball and football, they just cannot figure it out. But he is not the one. He's got to go, and they got to figure it out from somebody else. Just skip all this third party crap and get somebody new.
So in one of the things that they said in their letters, though, is they're citing past situations before Chip even got there, but they're also saying they don't trust Chip at all. So can they find a way to because some of this stuff isn't his fault, even though I'm with you, I don't care. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to play devil's advocate right now.
Not everyone deserves it. Not everyone deserves it. Chip needs to go, and he needs to sit out for like a period of time. He needs to stop coaching and just sit back and reflect, because it's every job, like his first, like when he was with Oregon, like that was the last time he was a solid coach. Like he was doing a good job. And then every job since then was worse and worse and worse. So he needs to go, and he needs to sit back and then try it again later with some other college team. Maybe, I don't know, maybe be in the next what's that show on Netflix? That whatever. Be a little coach for some community college team or something like that. But yeah,
I was gonna say junior college, I think, because I just don't think he can't take the spotlight. Yeah, junior college would be good. You won't get paid as much, but you clearly haven't earned that money either. So
he needs to start over. No, 100%.
All right, so let me get into this next one really quick, because this one kind of hits a little personal for me, because once I co-sign for somebody, I co-sign with them forever. So what we not going to do is keep embarrassing me, Rudy Gobert. You're getting on my nerves now. So you guys remember, it was like a week or so ago that he tweeted out that weird conspiracy theory where he didn't even think that the cops who killed George Floyd were the ones that were in custody. So now he's back. And now he's just not reading. He just doesn't read at all. So let me just say this before I really harp on him too bad. He's like a lot of you guys, because every single week on Weekend Zone, we have to read a comment about one of y'all that just read the headline and didn't watch the video. So I don't hear no clapbacks from none of y'all on Rudy. This is my moment with Rudy all by myself. But he tweeted this tweet from Serena Williams. Now, first of all, I need you to see this is who he tweeted. Now, he tweeted it like it was Serena Williams, but she clearly says, nope, not that Serena Williams. But he retweeted it anyway, and it is long. It's actually another whole thing where she goes on and on about she doesn't want to hear about black versus white. It's completely disjointed and disconnected from everything that's going on in the world. But he says, couldn't have said it better myself, at Serena Williams, clap, clap, clap. So he clearly didn't read it, number one. And number two, he definitely tweeted this thinking that it was the real Serena Williams, not the lady who is white in her profile picture. And then, of course, he gets dragged. And he got dragged in, and it was worth it. One Twitter user said, this man didn't even bother to look at this white as hell Facebook profile before assuming it was Serena. It was the Serena Williams posting this trash, laughing my ass off. He saw Jazz fans commenting all lives matter on Donovan Mitchell's post and jumped at the chance to win them over to his side. That sounds right. That sounds right. And then this guy says, breaking news, man who gave half his team infectious disease by licking all their microphones and God knows what else wants everyone to just get over COVID. Oh, it's so painful. But this is the one, if you go to, you can't go to his page anymore. You have to actually search this, just search Rudy Gobert and it'll pop up because he has since deleted this tweet. But this tweet is the one that makes me feel what I was feeling. She says, this makes me so sad. They don't know. They don't understand. My son is scared every day to leave the house, and to see people dismiss their pain as if it doesn't exist brings me to my knees. And I think that is the biggest point. Like, Rudy, if you're going to retweet something, especially in this social climate, number one, if you're trying to shout out Serena Williams, make sure she's at least black. If it's a fake profile, at least let it be from a black person, because that's just a no-brainer right there. Number two, you got to read it, because people are super sensitive right now, and people just aren't co-signing on a woman saying, oh, if somebody likes Trump or doesn't believe how you believe, it's okay as long as they're good people. No, there's legit people who co-sign with Trump who have Nazi blood in there, it's flowing through their system. So she's missing it. So I need Rudy Gobert to do better and stop embarrassing me. That's all I have to say about that. I'm not taking no questions because I know y'all going to jump on the, this is the dude you co-signed for a train, so I'm not taking no questions on this. But let's put Chris back up on the screen right now. Don't say nothing about Rudy. Don't do it. Just get your vocals ready. I see you want to say something. I see it. But I appreciate you not doing it. All right. Are you ready? Because now it's time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
All right, guys, this is going to be the quickest Brits take you have ever heard, and I actually am going to have a question for all of you guys, because this one, I'm stumped. I don't get stumped very often, but I'm a little stumped. During this weekend, roughly 30 plus LSU players were put under quarantine after either testing positive, or for some, they haven't gotten their results back yet, so they're in quarantine because of it. Their roster, I get, has 115 players, but this is like a quarter of their roster literally tested positive for COVID-19. This comes after a large group of students went to a place called Tigerland, and that's kind of like just a hangout spot for like a nightlife thing for the college athletes to do. And guess what? 100 people who are at this event tested positive for COVID-19 on Friday. Oh, God. So this is what they had to immediately then test all the players. And then obviously they have this 30 plus group of LSU players that are now quarantining for the next 14 days. The athletic trainer actually for LSU said this: it's not surprising. We're seeing the rise right now. It's a pandemic. We should not be shocked. The story is that's exactly what we said it would be. We were prepared from the get-go for a lot of virus. We planned for this. We executed everything we can do on the front end. So it's to know that you guys did everything that you guys were supposed to do, and this still happened. Very, very scary, because LSU wasn't the only school this weekend. Clemson had 23 players, including 2 of their staff members, test positive this weekend as well. Kansas State had 14 players test positive, and they actually decided to suspend all of football workouts for the next 2 weeks. The other schools are just having the players that did test positive quarantine for the next 2 weeks. And then obviously we heard about UCLA a little bit earlier with Jackie and Chip Kelly, and the players are concerned and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know what is going to happen here. Like, this is a lot of players, and there's a lot of concern here. And clearly the colleges and programs, because it's been maybe 2 weeks that most of these programs have gone back to training. Some of them, like UCLA and stuff, are going back, like Jackie said, today, and I think they start actual training on July 6th. But this is with all the protocols that they've had in line, everything that they're supposed to do. We talked about it last week as far as like the NFL, can you put the NFL players in a bubble? And I said no. And especially, it's even worse with NCAA because they have 115 to 130 players on their rosters. It's not the 53-man rosters. And then obviously like 75 when you like the practice team members and stuff like that. Like college has a huge rosters, and we're seeing 30, 23, 14 players literally this weekend alone that tested positive, and they've only been back training for like a week and a half. Like, this is very alarming. And with college, with the NFL and NBA and stuff, we've been talking about, oh, the players union wants this, blah, blah, blah. College doesn't have that. So it's literally up to what these coaches recommend and what these coaches and ADs and stuff want for the programs, and the kids don't really get to say anything. And I get why UCLA players are so upset and they're trying to get a third party person come in or whatever, because they don't trust what's happening. And like, all these players are testing positive, and at this point I am stumped because I have no idea what to do. Do we just cancel football? Football, is that too big of a sport to try to monitor COVID-19? There's too many players on the team. You cannot, obviously, all these football players were at the Tigerland place this week, and they all get it from LSU and stuff like that. Can we put the football players in bubbles? Is that something that's possible to happen to these college athletes who then are eventually going to have to go to class and deal with whatever's happening on campus too? Like, this is like so, and we don't know enough about obviously COVID and the long-term effects it can have on players and stuff like that, that down the line, these kids can end up suing the schools and whatever the case is for whatever's happening to them right now. And I just don't know. Like, I love college football. I can't wait to see Ohio State play this season, but I think this is like, we're in like this is a dire, horrible, crazy incident we're in right now. And like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I think football might be the sport where they can't participate in it. Because even, I know the coaches have came out, Jim came out and said that he's given all these things of what they're supposed to do, but he said you can't do that in football. So is football maybe the one sport that we don't have this season? I think we can make it manageable in basketball, and obviously the NBA will be the testing of this even for the NCAA, but like, college football is coming back before NFL football is, and it's not looking too good right now. So I think we might have to cancel football. But I kind of wanted to ask you guys, like, just the fans, the Fumble fan. I know we're out of time to ask the board of us here, the panel of us, but let's tell you guys in the comments what you guys think. Like, is this a sign that football has to stop? We cannot resume football this season. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And that's it for Brit's take, because my take is not even a take today, because I am just as stumped as the next person. I have no idea what to do and what's going to happen, but the numbers from this weekend are just, that was really scary to see.
Yeah.
It was really scary. I think that there's no clear-cut answer, obviously, so it's very difficult. Before we wrap up this show, you guys, I wanted to say that we did get an anonymous $20 donation. I can't tell if the person's user is anonymous or if it was just an anonymous donation. So whoever
just put anonymous, because it wasn't a super chat, I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't a super chat. It was just anonymous donation. So yeah. Also, you guys can do it in super chats too. If you guys didn't see, you can donate in the super chat, and all that money will go to as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that, anonymous person. Thanks for the $20 donation. We're going to keep doing this over the next several weeks. So tune in. It'll be, I think, very informative for everybody. And that's it for our show today. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below, share it with your friends, wash your hands, and keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight, you guys. We will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, guys.
Bye.